I think my only advice would be to just not be afraid to try it, right? I think coming from someone who never, wanted to exercise, ride the bike, or even run, right? Like I was never a runner. Just don't be afraid to try if you have certain goals in life, right? As far as like levels of physical fitness, definitely hop on, give it a shot. Actually for myself growing up, I didn't really learn how to ride a real bicycle until like a late point in life. But I think the first time that I had to go out of the saddle on the bike.
More than just your output, more than a bike. When you hear your shout out, you know it's all right. Put on your magic pants and let's go. We're cruising into the power zone. Clip in, set yourself free. Come on and take a ride with me. Know what you need to know and what's it all about. Everything you need, it's on the Clip Out.
Welcome to the Clip Out Podcast, episode 275. This is Crystal O'Keefe.
And this is Tom O'Keefe. Hello.
Hello.
So, hi.
Hi.
I guess we should start. We talk about, we should let people know that you're participating once again this year in Pedal for the Cause.
I am, yes, September 24th. And again, remember, the Pedal for the Cause, it goes, all of the money, whenever it gets donated, goes straight to research right here in St. Louis at Siteman Cancer Center.
So if you've laughed at our jokes about how St. Louis is, that's all the more reason the money should stay here.
Now listen, I've only gotten $20 has been donated by Jersey Mike. Thank you, Jersey Mike.
Thank you.
But I feel like there's some room for some love out there from my fellow peddlers. So if anybody out there is interested, I am Team Powered by Hope, and I would be very much appreciative for anything that you are donating. And if I reach my commitment, I will be riding in studio that weekend with my Powered by Hope jersey on.
Yes, you can actually participate in person.
Yes.
Because you will be in New York. Well, we will be in New York.
For your birthday.
Did
I say Jersey Mike? It's Jersey Joe. Did I say Jersey Mike?
You said Jersey Mike.
I think I'm thinking, isn't that like a sub shop? I'm sorry, Jersey Joe. I'm so sorry.
I just thought
Jersey Joe, not Jersey Mike.
The guy who owned the shop listened to the show. I was like, that's pretty cool. Get some free sandwiches. But you're making it sound like we're going to New York because it's my birthday. You happened to get your classes on the weekend of my birthday, so you keep positioning it as like this.
Are we going to go to a musical for your birthday?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's all we need to know. End of discussion. We're going to New York for your birthday.
That's how you assuaged your guilt.
Wow. I will talk to the person that helped us get the tickets, and I will tell them that you said that.
What? I'm very grateful that she helped us get the tickets, but it was to assuage your guilt because we're going to Peloton classes for my birthday.
No, you said we should. This was I am not,
because I'm very supportive. Well, that's why
he's turning this, you guys. Just so you know, whenever we talked about this originally, he was all in. Just saying,
I'm all in, but that's because I'm very loving and caring, and I think
that's not how it was. That is not how it came across.
Everyone needs to know that.
Well, anyway,
but if you're in the New York area,
we would love to see you.
We'd love to see you. There's the great NYC Pello meetup of 9/23.
Yes, and Gordon Walker and his lovely wife Janet, the cookie lady.
Yes.
She and he are putting this together. Now, I know it's last minute because they've been sick. They've had COVID and they are trying to find a place for us. But we have a bunch of people that want to go already. So if you are one of those people, I want you to go join this group, the Great NYC Pello Meetup 9/23.
And the link to that group, if you're having trouble finding it, will be in this week's newsletter. So you can sign up for that at theclipout.com. Super easy. You get one email a week. It's very, very low nuisance factor.
Yes, super easy. And that's all this group is just for this meetup. So you can join it. We'll have fun and you can leave it. Save it for next time.
Yeah. So, and then I guess we should end by saying, if you want to hang out, but you don't want to go to New York and you live in the Midwest and you don't mind making a quick trip to the STL.
Yeah, come see us. Come see us in October because we are going to be doing the big Sail Away Yacht Rock Night. That is October 15th. And we are going to have a party suite. We are going to have food. There will be drinks.
Yes.
And we have plenty of room. So come on.
Absolutely. And you get to see an evening of yacht rock classics from Firefall, Orleans, The Babies, Walter Egan, John Ford Coley, and Peter Beckett, a player. And these shows are a lot of fun because, like, Peter Bucket's probably got 2 songs you care about. He's going to play 2 songs.
Yep.
He's going to get the F off stage.
Yeah.
And they're going to bring out the next guy with 2 songs.
But my favorite part is they share a band so that you don't spend 30 minutes watching them break down the set and put a new set up. I'm not saying there are not breaks for intermission. You got to go buy your drinks.
Because I got to sell beer.
Yeah. Now we'll have drinks in the suite, so you don't have to leave. But we still need to sell the beer for Tom's place.
Yes.
So, but anyway, it'll be tons of fun, and we'd love to see you.
And you can find that in the Clip Out group, or again, it will be in the newsletter if you sign up for that at theclipout.com.
It's only a month away.
Yeah, it's so close.
I know.
Yeah. So anyway, there's all that. What, pray tell, do you have in store for people this week?
Well, we first of all, we have a visit from Dr. Jenn.
Heard of her?
And she is talking about where did it go?
Making peace with your lack of perfection.
While we're on the subject of Dr. Jenn.
Oh, I thought you pointed at me. I thought while we're on the subject of lack of perfection.
No. But I wanted to bring this up while we were talking about this because we are doing a special Dr. Jenn episode, and it's going to be Dr. Jenn After Dark. And we need questions. Like, I know, so it's anything sex, relationships, anything.
Yeah.
No topic is off the table. Now she will choose her final questions, but right now we only have 3. So I would love to get some more questions from you guys. And if you want to post them on the Clip Out group, you're more than welcome to.
But we get that you might not want to post a question of that nature where everyone can see it.
Yeah. So I have been sent some anonymous questions that will remain anonymous.
So, yes, you are bound by HIPAA.
I am bound by HIPAA.
As a podcast creator.
Well, I just would never, ever tell people's things.
Yeah.
But you can send anything confidentially asking at clipoutcrystal. You can send it to my email, clipoutcrystal@gmail.com. Just put Dr. Jenn in the subject because, Lord Almighty, I get a lot of emails, people. So I want to be able to help you. So please, please, please put that in the subject line.
Yeah.
Other than that, super simple. I'll take care of the rest and no one will know what your question is.
And if you're that concerned, you can always go set up a dummy email account.
Yeah. But
and we'll never know.
We won't.
Yeah. So, okay, what else do you have in store?
Oh, yeah, that was just the one thing. Okay, so then we have a visit from Angelo, and we are talking about portion control while you work. We also have a bunch of updates going on with the instructors, like we do every week. Okay. And then we have some instructor in the news. There's some really fun new stuff on the Peloton app, and we get into some pretty interesting discussions coming up.
Awesome. Well, before we get to all that, don't forget our shameless plugs. Don't forget shameless plugs.
Don't forget the shameless plugs.
It's my note to myself.
You guys go ahead and do them.
Yes. I'll sit here and wait. Okay. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeart, TuneIn. Wherever you find a podcast, you can find us while you're there. Be sure and follow us so you never miss an episode. Maybe leave us a review. That would be very helpful. We're at 499.
What?
We're one shy of 500.
We need a 500th
so somebody
review.
Just go give us a
all you have to do is say,
one, please.
You can just put like one word, like awesome.
Yeah.
That would work. You don't have to write a book.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to have a nice even number.
Yes.
And thank you all for all the reviews you have left. You're
Absolutely.
Awesome. You're so awesome.
You can also find us on the facebook.com/theclipout. While you're there, like the page, join the group, and we also have a Patreon now, patreon.com/theclipout, where you can get all sorts of bonus content. Sometimes these episodes, when they're ready a little early, you get them a little early. Lately, people have been getting them on Thursday afternoon, so that's always fun, and there's no ads in them. So
it's a win-win-win.
It is. You can find that at patreon.com/theclipout. And then finally, don't forget our YouTube channel, youtube.com/theclipout, where you can watch these now in color. So there's all that. Let's dig in, shall we?
Peloton in the news.
At long last,
a rower Like, it's so
End
funny.
of segment. We're done. Moving
It's
on.
so funny. It's so funny because like we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And then Peloton's like, the countdown begins. Dude, the countdown is still going from 4 years ago when we
Yes.
started hearing about this.
Yes, the countdown continues.
Continues. Peloton
yes.
continues.
Peloton should change their name to Casey Kasem. That's how long this countdown's been going on.
Yeah. So now you can sign up to be the first to know, but you were already the first to know because you listened to the clip out 4 years ago.
Yes.
So there you go. But in all seriousness, we gave you all the details last week of what to expect from this rower, and now the sign up has arrived. So I know that when it came to the Tread and the Tread Plus in particular, when we got this little email, it was a really, really long time before we actually got to order. I believe we got it in November, and then it was in January before we even got to order. And then it was an additional 11 months before we got our actual treads. I don't think that's what's going to happen this time. I think we're going to be seeing the actual rollout come in a few weeks. I think we're very, very close to it because they're finalizing the testing that they have been doing. So that is my guess. I think we've got a number of weeks and you will be seeing it. Nope, we don't know how much the price is going to be, but we know Barry said it's going to be expensive. So my guess, and it is just a guess, so don't at me.
$1 million.
That's Tom's guess.
Okay.
My guess is 3,000 plus.
Okay.
Which is still very steep.
Yeah.
Considering some of these things sell for under $1,000.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. It makes you wonder, like, what it does that justifies it being that much money. But I guess if they're back to being an aspirational luxury brand, they're not looking to sell $1 million. And I think it's the smart move because I think that there's a finite number of people that want these rowers, mm-hmm. and I think if you try to price it as a mass appeal item, it's not a mass appeal item, and you're going to end up selling a bunch of really cheap rowers to people who would have paid more for them.
Yep, I agree.
And
I agree.
I fight this battle all the time with pricing concert tickets.
I bet you do.
You know?
It's a constant up and down. Like where should we land? And some of it's just like finessing, right? And I know people get upset about that, but it's like I think that you have to remember that all of these companies are still for profit. So you have to do what the economy will bear. You have to it's supply and demand. These are the basic principles of capitalism. Even if you don't agree with them, that's why they do it.
Yeah, it's just the reality of the situation. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's smart to go a little high. You can always come down or run a sale or do something, but I think I think that would be a mistake to come in and try and price it at like $1,200, and you'd probably sell maybe 5% more than you would have, and you'd have left a lot of money on the table.
I agree. And can I also say that I just want to touch on the fact that whenever I posted this the other morning, it said Peloton Row, the countdown begins, and it shows a picture of the bike. But I want to be very clear. That's because I saw it the instant it went up. And I just happened to see it the instant it went up. So the link wasn't even live yet to sign up. I know people think you just flip a switch and websites go live, but that's not how it works. It has to go through this major RSS feed building, and it's complex and it takes time. So everyone that was like, oh my God, it's wrong. Oh my God, Peloton failed. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
You would not have known if I had not posted. You would not have known. Yeah. It just was timing. That's all it was. And if you would have looked 10 minutes later, it was fine. And that's how all websites are. That's not a Peloton fail. That's just how it works. And I just wanted to explain that because a lot of people were really upset and they were saying that Peloton really messed up again. And that's not what happened.
No. But if you'd like to talk about Peloton messing up.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
We're here for you. So their stock slipped again this week. People linking to the delay of their annual 10K report, which you explained to me last week, and the sort of is what you explained. It just doesn't mean I understood it, but you explained it, and the fact that I guess word came out that they will be getting fined because of the Tread Plus.
Yeah. Did you get to read this article? Because I didn't, and I'm curious how much the fines are. Did we see?
I don't know that they've said.
Okay.
I scanned it, but I didn't see a dollar figure jump out at me.
Yeah.
Oh, 10K.
Oh,
wait, no, that's the report that got delayed. That's so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, We just know it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Here we go. The move, which is in broader part, turnarounds are forecast to cost post-production delivery costs by around 50% when fully implemented, but form part of the $415 million in charges the group booked over the final 3 months of the year. So also is the costs associated with the changes that they made. That's also part of it.
And I guess, yeah, refunding all those treads?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
And so no, I mean the people they let go of and the different changes they made to logistics that cost money too. Like you don't just like get the savings. You also have to put the money out there that you cost to do that. So it's interesting to me that they don't really say what the fines are in this article. I'm kind of curious about that. It just says that they may face fines. So I think the bigger deal was how much it cost for pulling out of logistics. But I know that was an expensive thing. I think long term for the health of the company, that was the right call.
Yeah.
Particularly if they're moving over to Amazon. I think that was the right thing to do.
I also feel like they're just trying to book a bunch of losses right now. Like they're just
once you have a loss, you might as well take it all in 1 year for sure.
Exactly. It's like when you go to get a vaccine, they're like, oh, you're here for COVID? You want shingles? Sure. How about a flu shot? Absolutely.
I don't suppose that was an actual thing that happened to you, Tom.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It was just such a specific example.
You're like, hey, the more the merrier, though. In for a dime, in for a dollar. So David Miller, author of the book Sweating Together, had an interesting post on the gram,
He did.
as the kids call it.
He did.
Whenever I hear the gram, I immediately think crackers.
Graham crackers.
Graham crackers.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I haven't had graham crackers in forever. Why don't I have more graham crackers?
Oh, it's dinner time. Let's get through this.
Okay. He had an interesting post about Kim Kardashian, who we will get to later, but she took place in a Peloton class and people lost their effing minds.
Yeah.
Because how dare someone they not like also use Peloton? That's offensive to their sensibilities.
Yep.
And now you're in your head, if you're that person, you're telling yourself why that's not true, but you're wrong. So Kim Kardashian announced that she's launching a private equity firm, which led David Miller to ask, was she thinking about buying Peloton?
I mean, I think it's a fair question.
I don't think it's crazy, especially with the stock price as low as it is.
And really, what he said was, is Peloton taking on celebrity investors?
Right.
He did not say that she is buying it.
Okay.
But you go down that road very quickly. It's a slippery slope from one thought to the other.
Because she's got the bank. She's got the following. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's a fair question. And I know people love to shit on Kim Kardashian. And
I truly don't get the Kardashian hate. Like, just to be clear, I also don't love them. I've never watched a show. I have no. Yeah. I just don't understand the vitriol against her. Like, people are really angry. We'll talk about her later. We'll get into that. But so yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I think this one makes more sense to me than some of the others that have been brought up as far as purchasing.
I agree. And I think that she's pretty savvy, as much as people don't want to admit it, or certain people don't want to admit it. And it's like, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that she is thinking like that.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. Well, we will see what comes out.
A wrong reality show.
I know. There
is a new wrinkle when it comes to booking your in-studio classes.
I don't even know how I feel about this, but Trish Lalonde posted this in the Clip Out group that, and I've seen lots of other people posting it too, that now when you go to book classes that are launching every Monday around noon Eastern, because it hasn't always been, that you have to get in line to buy your tickets.
That's a very common thing on ticketing platforms.
I know, but now you have to get in line to buy. But if you were already there, then how are you not in line when you're there? I don't understand.
They're filing you into a separate thing so it doesn't overwhelm their server.
Oh, so this is keeping their traffic under control.
Right. So, I mean, this is a very simplified version, but now we're talking ticketing. This is my world.
Right,
Here's what's going on.
Go for it, honey.
So everybody comes into this website, and then they start pulling you out and putting you in line over this other thing. So if too many people come into the website and it crashes the website, well, it doesn't matter. You've already got 300 people over here in line. So, if this site crashes, you weren't going to be first in line anyway because they already pulled out people and started lining them up.
But I hit refresh over and over. So how am I not in line the second I get there? Like
because
how can
everyone else is hitting refresh over and over. You're not special to the Peloton website. So this grabs people
Hang on.
and starts lining them up.
Ouch. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Carry on.
So this grabs people and starts lining them up. So you I mean, if everybody goes into the website, you're gonna be in line one way or the other.
Yeah,
Like,
I think what's hard about this for me is that when you're going to buy concert tickets, I don't usually buy concert tickets that I have to be first in line for. That like you
okay,
take
first off, let's be fair. You haven't bought a concert ticket
since I met you.
Since you met me, because if we need concert tickets, I just call somebody
I know.
and I say, "Hey, I need some concert tickets," and then we get concert tickets. Like that's
there was the one time that your brother-in-law bought the Elton John tickets.
Okay. The one time he did the Amex pre-sale and he thought he had bad seats, and I said, "You're insane. Buy those tickets." And we paid $120 and we were like 30 feet from the stage.
But my point is that if we're doing this, that like they only bring these online in the middle of the day. So like, how are you supposed to work and buy seats for a class months from now? Like, that's
not their problem.
I know.
And what time are they going to pick that's going to work for everybody? I
just wish that they would do it like in waves. Does that make sense?
Then the complaint's going to be, I can never know because it's always moving around. It's a moving target. I don't know. I can't structure around it. It was noon this time and next week it's at 10 and then it's at 3.
Okay. So, I'm triggering your work madness. I can tell.
Yeah.
Like you're getting mad because this is what people say to you all day long. I know.
It's it's going to be like this. So here's the upside compared to ticketing. There's no secondary market for this. There's nobody taking these seats, these bikes, and then flipping them and paying $40 and then, well, you want to get into the Jen Sherman 930 class? Well, it's $700. Like, I think Peloton would shut that down in a heartbeat.
We'll see.
I think they would. Or if they then they just
would take it over
and be like, yeah. Oh, you want the bike right next to Jen Sherman? That's $700. Yeah. But yeah. So I mean, this is a way to maintain order and stop the site from crashing and to maintain some level of fairness that make it first come first serve. I think the big problem is people don't believe they're really in line.
Oh, for sure.
Like
I wouldn't believe it. Because when it says your estimated wait time is 8 minutes, now I can't leave my computer for 8 minutes. What if I have to pee? This is very important.
You're probably on your phone.
I'm not. I can't, because you can't trust a phone when you are booking tickets at the studio, honey.
It's a laptop. Take it with you.
Oh my God. I'm not taking the computer into the bathroom. I'm not doing that.
You will if you want your Peloton tickets. Then you know if it goes on sale at noon that you pee at 11:50.
Now that I will do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
anyway,
I think this is a net positive.
We'll see. I'm actually not that upset about it. I'm just playing bad cop.
Ooh, are you going to wear a little outfit?
Sorry, everyone.
So there is a new incentive referral program.
Yeah. Well, and it's not lasting long. It's only through Monday. But you can earn double the rewards. So if you sell a bike, if you convince your friend to buy a bike, now you get $200 off your apparel purchase, and they get $200 off accessories instead of $100 for each, respectively.
Nice.
It is.
Yeah. This feels like another one of their A/B tests.
It does.
Like, because I'm like, well, this isn't like amazing.
No.
But it's like, I think
it's happy.
It's something. And so I think they're like, let's see if this gets the needle to move. And then we know if it works.
I agree.
Yeah. Yahoo has an article about how to use the talkback screen on your Peloton.
Yeah.
I would think, I'm just spitballing, you talk back at it.
Well, it talks back to you.
Oh.
That's the idea.
Better watch its attitude.
Because
it works for me.
It doesn't have sass. It doesn't have sass when it talks. Well, that I know of. I've actually never used it. But I really like that there is a very specific how-to article out there, and it's by a reputable company.
Right.
Like sometimes I see these things and I'm like, what did AI write this? Like, what is happening?
Right.
But anyway, this explains like how to use the reader, and it explains what it is. So for people who have maybe they have sight issues, they can't choose the class by sight, they will be able to use the feature to walk through the different classes and choose via voice and hearing instead. So that's a great accessibility feature, and it's been on the bike for a while, but now it has been added to the tread. So that's awesome.
That's awesome. And then it makes me wonder, is this website accessible? Because if not, then this article is kind of pointless.
Ouch. I think it's more about the reader. So if a person who has sight issues is like looking at it, reading it on a iPad, let's just say, and the iPad has the talkback feature, then they can read the article.
Gotcha.
because it's already built in.
Yeah, and like with it being Yahoo, my guess is that it
agree.
it is.
I agree.
Like, yeah.
We're not calling out Yahoo.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because it's like since I don't have those issues, I don't have a computer that is set up to do that, so I can't tell. But I was just curious, like, is this all for naught?
I don't think so.
Peloton will be participating in the Goldman Sachs Communacopia and Technology Conference.
That's a name.
That is a name.
Yeah, so it's going to be Monday, September 12th. And maybe we should just stop by. We'll just stop by.
We'll be in New York on Monday.
We're going to be in New York on Monday. We'll just pop in. Hey,
Be
Barry.
like, what up, Bear?
What up? Yeah.
Then we
hey,
have a
Bear.
We need to collect a photo, so we have photos with all the CEOs of Peloton.
We're here for our photo, Barry.
Yes. Entitled, we have
Forgive us for all those things we said.
we have a voucher for one photo. Good for two people.
So we'll see how that goes. But you can watch it over at investor.onepeloton.com. And they're going to be taking place in this conference, which is interesting because as John Mills brought up over in his group, that this is something that typically the CFO does. And it's interesting that Barry is doing it because he brought in the new CFO, but he is still going, and he used to be a CFO. So I think he's just very comfortable in that role. That's just his world. And so he's just going to keep on living in it. I get that, though. You're the big boss. You get to make decisions like that. You should still do the things you love. So if that's what he loves, by all means.
It's one of the perks.
It is.
The New York Times had an article about Peloton and their attempts to sell their refurbished inventory.
Yeah. So it's also talking about the fact that, like, there are so many bikes out there in the market. The one quote that really stood out to me was that on eBay, a spokesperson for eBay said that Peloton bikes for sale are up 80% from 2019. That's a big number.
Yeah.
I mean, part of it is just there's more bikes out there.
Sure.
And there's also a lot of people that bought them during COVID that they don't want them. Like, that was never going to be their thing.
Right. They bought them and they kind of have some buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
It was a stopgap because they prefer gyms. I also think that they suppressed the resale market temporarily by dropping their pricing. And now that the pricing has increased, people that were like, I paid $2,200 for a bike and now you're selling it for $1,200. I gotta dump mine for $700. I don't want to do that. And now that they've gone back up, now because you can see, I'm sure you see them too, the people selling bike posts, and like the number has gone up considerably.
Well, according to this article, it's still down. They're saying it's down. They're saying that people are only getting $700 for their bike across the board. There were some exceptions to that, but in their article, the
posts I see are at least asking for significantly more. It seems to be that $1,200 to $1,500 range. And I know a friend of ours bought a Peloton right before they jumped the price back up for like $950.
Yeah.
And he'd been trying to find one for a long time. And if he'd have found one for $700, he would have bought it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and it might depend on the market, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like in St. Louis there's never been the glut of bikes available that is available in other markets. But it's not ingrained in the community here in the way
Right.
it is like on the East Coast. There's all kinds of cities. I mean, it's across the country, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying like it happens more densely in cities that have had access to it for longer.
Yeah.
And here in the Midwest, we have had
We're
access
late
to
adopters.
it. We are late adopters.
We still wear members only jackets non-ironically.
No.
There's a store at the mall that sells nothing but Swatch guards. That's what we're up against.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah,
I still have a closet full of IOU sweaters.
so yeah, I do think that it's different in different areas, you know, but we can only compare with what we see on our
Right.
pricing. So anyway, it's interesting, and there's a lot of people that are not happy about that, but I mean, it is what it is. Nobody ever guaranteed you were going to get full price for your bike forever.
Yeah, it's not how that works.
It's like you don't expect that when you sell your car.
Right.
I mean, right now you can do that, but
Well,
you
sure.
couldn't do that 10 years ago.
Yeah, and in a year and a half, it won't
You
be that
won't
way.
be able to do that anymore.
There's been a fun addition to the Peloton app. If I mean, I guess if you like Peloton, this is fun.
It is.
It's not fun for me.
Whatever. So before you could do a just workout, like this came out a couple months ago, where you could do outdoor running and outdoor cycling. And
So just work out. Are they usually work out with Jess Sims and Jess King? Is that we?
Huh?
What?
Just work out, not
Oh,
Jess. Not Jess.
Oh,
Anyway,
I was like, how do the other instructors feel about all this?
you let me know when you're done so I could talk. Unless you want to explain it. You explain it. Let's hear how you explain it.
So they have new ways to work out on the app that they've added.
No. Fail.
And stuff. I'm just here for jokes. Thought this was known.
So anyway, the Just Workout, they had 3 different ways that you could use it before, and they have added a ton. Now you can click on anything: cycling, walking, running, yoga, strength, cardio, meditation. What does this mean? This means that you can get a blue dot for other things besides what's on the Peloton app. It allows you to, let's say, work out on tonal and click that you did your Just Workout, have it recording at the same time. So you still get your blue dot over on Peloton. And if the blue dot is important to you to see in one place all the workouts that you did, this will be very important to you.
Do you think this is a harbinger of things to come? Like, I feel like this is them trying to make the app more like you don't need the other apps. Like, do you think they'll add more
Absolutely.
functionality?
Yeah, I do. I think somebody brought up today, like, oh, this is great, but I want swimming. There's always going to be a this is great, but like there's always
Sure.
going to be that. And like, you know, Whoop,
Especially if you do a lot of squats. Then that's this is great, but.
Whoop does this. But like at the end of the day, it's a little different when it comes to an activity tracker like Whoop, because you want to be able to classify your different workouts and see the different kind of strain between different workouts. Since Peloton has a heart rate monitor, you can track your heart rate monitor and be able to see your activity among these different classifications. So that's helpful.
Right.
But you're not getting like your heart rate variability and sleep and all that. So will all those things come too? Because then they're definitely going to be up against Apple Watch and Whoop directly.
Right.
Is that somewhere down the pipeline? I don't know. I could see it happening for sure.
Yeah.
They want you to, I mean, it's just like any app. Their whole existence is to keep you on the app as long as possible.
Right.
So, you know, one way to look at it is very, very cold and calculating. They're doing this to be able to say, you know how those statistics, like they're like, our members worked out 80% this month and
Right.
everybody else only worked out 20. This is only going to up that.
Right.
So if you're a person who takes offense at that, that's what they're doing. That's why they're doing it. And I mean, I guess you have an issue with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's their whole goal. It's everybody's goal. It's the metric. How long did you keep them in the app? Because then you can start justifying more things like advertisements. I mean, this is where it's going, guys.
Yeah.
It's all marketing. I'm just hoping if you pay enough, you don't have any of that crap on there. You know, like I just want it pure. I just want to have my class and have all my stats. I don't want to have ads. I'll pay above it.
Well, and I think if they ever went that route, I think they would do that. I think that's the model you're seeing. I mean, Netflix is going to it, Disney Plus, Hulu, they're all going to this model of ad-free costs a little extra.
I'm good with it. I'll pay it.
We do.
I know.
Getting the psychological edge with Dr. Jenn.
Joining us once again via the magic of ZoomTube is Dr. Jenn Mann, licensed marriage, family, and child therapist and sports psychology consultant. She was also a 5-year national team member in rhythmic gymnastics and sports psychology for USA Gymnastics. It's Dr. Jenn. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
It's not a sports psychology question.
Oh, I was going to say, wow, how good would I be?
Well,
I guess technically they kind of all are.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah.
They really are. Okay, so Ever Diaz has a question. She wants to know how she can be better at taking everything one day at a time and being graceful with herself and knowing that not every day will be perfect.
Okay, this is actually, interestingly, this has been a theme with a lot of my clients.
Really?
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times in the last probably 2 weeks I have recommended the Serenity Prayer.
Oh.
I am a big believer, and it's not a religious prayer. It's one that is used in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I have that prayer by my bed, like it's like carved in a rock. I have it here in my office in a little frame. I've given it to my kids. Like I have that everywhere because that's something that I have struggled with myself. And to me, that philosophy is really kind of one of the most relieving kind of concepts, like at least for me, because I am someone like a lot of us type A people, and I know I'm speaking to at least one, maybe two.
I'm like 1.5.
That feel like that kind of feeling of I need to control everything, I need to handle everything, I need to master everything, I need to make sure that I am handling everything, that can lead to a lot of anxiety and stress. And I think that really evaluating on a constant day-to-day, hour by hour, minute by minute level of, is this something I can control? Is this something that putting time and energy into, whether it be by researching, by taking action, by obsessing, like, will there be a benefit to that? Is there an outcome where this actually, that energy expanded can help me? And I also think that, look, if you are not able to nip this in the bud, it's time to see a therapist. It's time to work with someone to figure out, okay, what's going on that you have such a need to control all of these things? What is it about your history? What is it about the family that you grew up in? Were you in a situation where things were chaotic? Were you in a situation in a home with a parent with a substance abuse issue? Were you in a situation where you couldn't count on what was going to happen next, where it was unpredictable, whether it was you didn't know if you would have food on the table or if you didn't know if your parent would be flying off into a rage? That kind of unpredictability and chaos tends to create more of a need to control and to handle things on your own and to not trust also other people to handle things for you.
Here come the magic tricks again.
Deeper and kind of taking a look at that.
Wow.
I feel like I can be like that, but I also feel like of the two of us, I'm better at knowing, like, I got no control over that.
Well, except for some things. Yeah. He is good about it until he's not. And when he's not, you can't talk him out of it. But he, many fewer issues get him to that point than myself. Yeah. Like, it does not, I mean, it can be any day at any given moment. There will be something I feel that way about every day. And look, I think also being a mom, I think, is very different than being a dad. And I think that there is typically a lot, typically there's a lot that falls on your plate that is different than what falls on Tom's plate. And that kind of requires a lot more management. She said that very actually.
I spent a few years as a mom.
You did. You did. Yeah. You put your time in, for sure.
For sure.
But I will say that, though, it does tend to fall back into kind of traditional divvying up, even when we try not to have it do that.
We do.
Anyway, there's a window people don't want to look through. So
I'm treading very carefully here.
That's more like a tread plus. That's what you're doing.
Not a mini tread.
Yeah, no, that is a tread plus. So, well, thank you so much for all of that. Until next time, where can people find you?
On all social media at Dr. Jenn Man, 2 N's on Jen, 2 N's on Man, or you can find me in Style Magazine online. Hump Day with Dr. Jenn is my weekly column with sex and relationship advice.
Instructors in the news.
Jess Sims made her.
Jess. It's
What?
Jess.
Oh, why didn't you say something earlier?
I did. I did, Tom.
I don't think you did. I'll have to go back and listen.
Okay,
You wait here.
you do that.
Okay. I'll run back to the beginning of the podcast.
Okay.
Like I would
You would
run
never run.
now. So Jess Sims made her debut on ESPN's College Game Day,
She did.
and her outfit went viral.
Why is this such a big deal?
What is she wearing? I haven't scrolled
It's
down.
like they're saying that it's like the NBA draft class suit that like from 2003. If you'd stop scrolling,
I'm trying to find a picture.
it's right there. Scroll past it.
It didn't load.
There it is. There it is.
Okay.
Jess Sims making the 2003 NBA draft class fit look cool again. I don't understand why it's such a big deal.
She's wearing some sort of baggy suit like she's in a Talking Heads tribute band.
I guess that's, I don't know. I mean, she looks
Maybe
amazing.
if we understood sports, this would
I
just...
feel like that's the key. I
would
feel like we don't get it.
It would tickle us to no end.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Chuckle.
Yes.
But
maybe a chortle, a guffaw, if you're lucky.
I'm always going to go with the giggle.
Okay.
But she looked great, and I'm very happy for her that her day went so well. It was her first, game day out there. People
sure.
had nothing but glowing reviews for her. That's awesome.
And speaking of Jess Sims,
Ooh, look at this. She's having a big month.
she is.
Just today, she was announced a Jordan brand athlete.
Just today, is that a different instructor?
Oh my God.
What? I'm confused.
Are you?
What are we doing?
Today,
Okay.
Wednesday, when we're recording,
Heard of it?
this was announced
Oh.
that Jess Sims has been elevated to a Jordan brand athlete.
So she gets-
Congrats.
Congrats. She gets free shoes now.
I know. Air Jordans.
Yeah. Those ain't
Are they
cheap.
still called Air Jordans?
I think so.
And she looks amazing. Why does she need to be all dressed up if they're just putting her in tennis shoes? I'm a little confused at that.
'Cause tennis shoes-
Is this another thing we don't understand about sports?
Tennis shoes are dressy now. That doesn't look
She
like
still
a
has
Jordan shoe there.
stilettos on there, so I don't think that's true. I think they just want it to
And
be
this one, you
true.
don't even see feet. She might not have shoes on at all. Damn liar.
Well, she looks amazing, and we're really happy for her. She's
Yes,
a
that's
wonderful
very
person.
cool.
It is very cool.
Ben Alldis posted about Peloton getting a nice write-up in the Sunday Times, which is the big paper in London. They don't even, it's so big they don't even have to put the name of the city in it. It's just the Times.
Well, I think he was really just saying, "Hey, look, my fiance is in the paper."
Well, that's true.
I
That
mean,
too.
that's okay.
If you're in the paper, I would post that.
I know you
and
have.
you're not even my
you
fiance.
have done that.
Yeah, I have.
You have.
I got it framed and hung on the wall.
Well, not the New York Times one. You didn't.
Okay, well, they didn't use a picture of you.
That's true. But anyway, congrats to Leanne and the whole Peloton Studios London. And if you want to see it online, the whole article, you can. And if you get our newsletter, you will have a link right to it. So you'll be able to read the whole thing. Because they say that the hottest stars in town are at the Peloton London studio.
So it's probably a bunch of English famous people that we don't know.
I think it's the instructors.
Oh, I thought it was like Mr. Bean, Benny Hill. I don't know.
Keep going, Tom.
Hugh Laurie.
Oh, God. Well, at least he's like modern.
The Queen.
Yeah.
I bet she Pelotons.
Yeah, I'm sure she does.
Prince Charles. I'm not English people. Are there any more famous English people?
Yeah.
Ian Lee.
I don't know who that is.
He's just a guy who's semi-famous in England and loves the monkeys, and so I see him post in my monkeys groups all the time.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
It's a whole country, so this could take a while.
Do they have a phone book? I'll just open up at the A's and start reading names.
Okay.
So Tom'sGuide.com, no relation, had a review about Emma Lovewell's Core Challenge.
Yeah, which they call it the Peloton Core Challenge, but let's be honest, it's Crush Your Core, and it's Emma, and it always has been. But anyway, they had great results. They feel like it could transform their core. There's no doubt. If you do this for the 4 weeks the way you're supposed to, you will transform your core. Absolutely. It's a great workout. Both of them, 1 and 2. Congrats to Emma for getting the coverage.
Yeah, for sure. Cody has shaved his mustache.
He has, but his post made me laugh. I have to say, I was not a fan of the stash. Like, when Maddie Majacomo has the stash, it works. When Cody has the stash, it does not work. And I know they're friends. They would probably disagree about that. They probably feel like they can both pull it off.
Sure.
But Cody posted today and said, "Can you stash hating bitches quiet down now?" And it really made me laugh.
Kendall Toole is celebrating her 3rd year with Peloton.
She is. And we had to post the Kendall's knockouts from Instagram. They posted about it, so we are sharing it on the screen. Thank you for making it known that it is Saturday, 9/10. That is the 3-year anniversary. You get to ride with her. Everybody can swarm together. I can't believe it's been 3 years.
I know.
It's just gone so fast.
Speaking of going fast, Daniel McKenna is also celebrating an anniversary. He has been with Peloton now for 1 whole year.
It's incredible. I cannot believe that these instructors, it feels like yesterday that they just got here. And here he is.
Nope, it was 365 yesterdays.
It was indeed. Congrats to everyone. Oh, this puppy.
Rad Lopez got a puppy.
This dog is so cute, and he calls it Mav. I don't know if that's short for Maverick, but oh my God, I need this puppy. I need to hold this puppy. Its eyes. Look at those eyes. They're so pretty.
Yes, this dog has eyes.
They're so pretty. I love this dog so much.
The rest of the podcast will just be Crystal squealing while watching a dog video.
It's a puppy.
Thank you for tuning in. There's no interview this week. Just
look at that little stance, the way he's standing.
Just Crystal giggling at a puppy.
This is why nobody wants to go to the zoo with me. It's like this the entire trip.
I was 10 years between our trips to the zoo.
And he never lets me go into the pet store.
Oh my God, we would come out with so many pets.
No, I'm really good. I don't buy them. I just love them. I love them so much.
Well, I guess we might as well just power through all the dog stuff.
Listen, this is cute. So Beck's husband, Austin, posted a picture of Beck's, and she was taking their dog for a walk, and he said in the caption, "I have a feeling we are only just getting started on these matching outfits," because the dog is wearing a yellow raincoat, and so is Beck's with a yellow umbrella in the rain. And since she is going to be having her baby in 2 months, I think he foresees that all 3 of them are going to match very soon.
Why do I feel like there's going to be matching outfits for you and Twix soon?
That would be so cute.
Oh dear. I should have deleted that story as soon as I saw it.
Look at the puppy.
Clip out.
Joining us once again via the magic of Zoom from MetPro, it's Angelo here to answer all of your nutrition questions. Hello.
Hi.
Hey guys, thank you for having me back.
Well, we appreciate you being here. And Julie Milazzo is looking for some help with portion control, particularly during work hours. She says she can literally eat all day long. And yes, she knows it's because she's seeking to fill the void that is created by her soul-sucking government desk job, but still.
How articulate.
Yes.
I knew you would appreciate it, so I had to read the whole thing.
Okay, so we have an issue with portion control at our desk.
Yeah.
Gosh, I have to go back to some of my way back when research and come up with the specific numbers. Crystal knows, our listeners know, I'm a big numbers guy. I like specific. But in this case, I'm going to have to give you the general. They have done trials. They have done studies. They have researched this extensively. What accounts for a greater impact? Portion control or food substitution? And the answer is actually, it might surprise you. It's food substitutions. It's food substitution. So here's what that means. That means that when we ask someone to eat basically whatever foods they want and just exercise portion control, the caloric reduction is less than if we say eat as much as you want, but we want you to eat from these higher food volume, lower calorie foods. The reduction is greater in those scenarios. So my advice, the take home message, it was approximately, again, don't quote me on this, approximately, a third was attributed to portion control and 2/3 was attributed to food substitutions. So the take home message isn't food substitutions instead. The take home message is both. Do both. Exercise portion control and where possible, use food substitutions. And so what I'm going to recommend to you, Julie, may seem actually a little surprising, but I'm going to recommend focusing on having low calorie, healthy options that you don't feel you have to significantly, within reason, limit throughout the day. And so those are going to be a lot of simple foods, and that's something that we work with our clients on, is food lists of basically snackables that are going to essentially be that habit food. So I do this at night. The end of my day, I like to sit at my computer and I like to have something to munch on, and it has nothing to do with hunger. Nothing to do with hunger. So I have found the things that work for me that are low calorie, clean, healthy. I'm not going to get into what they are because you're going to say, oh, that's gross, that's disgusting. And I have found that everyone likes something different and that's fine. Google low calorie, foods. And for starters, almost any vegetable is going to be on that list, and most fruits are going to be on that list. Kind of a common one that a lot of people agree to is berries. It's one of the lowest, if not the lowest glycemic fruit you can eat, extremely low calories. And who doesn't like berries? Except Tom.
Yeah.
I don't like
Raises his hand.
Yeah.
The hand raise of shame.
Yeah. I was proud of it.
I have a client right now. I'm not saying this is your thing. He's going to listen to this also. He loves cauliflower, which cauliflower is not my thing, but he loves it. He actually puts Truvia on it.
What?
But yes.
It's nice to see, though, that you also work helping sociopaths. So that's good.
Oh, I can't wait till he listens to this episode.
Build a stronger, better breed of sociopath to take us all out. Sounds great.
That is fascinating. I would never think to put something sweet on vegetables.
I would never think, but some of our favorite snacks, nighttime snacks, are like doing things like sliced apple with baked low-fat mozzarella cheese and a little garlic for savory. Some people like doing that similar thing, but instead they put a little Truvia, make it sweet. You can do like roll-ups, like you have at a lot of where everyone brings a dish, and it's a real common dish that people make, where you'll have turkey or ham or something like that sliced with some sour cream in the middle, pepperoncini, olive, toothpick. Do it with cottage cheese instead. I know what you're thinking. That's gross. You won't be able to taste the difference. When you have it in that combination. Doing a bowl of berries and Greek yogurt and putting a little bit of a sweetener in it. Of course, I like the all natural or more natural sweeteners or something along the lines of a Truvia. Put it in the blender, a cup of Greek yogurt, a cup of berries, put it in the blender, chill it in the freezer. The thing is that, the interweb has a bazillion great ideas when it comes to this. The problem is when we have foods that are not ideal for us in the first place, and then they're there sitting all day. If it's in front of you, you're going to grab it, remove it from in front of you. And if you're going to keep something in front of you where you're not going to limit the portion, have it be a high food volume, low calorie option that's not going to negatively impact you. And almost always that aligns with healthier options. Generally speaking, it's the processed fast foods, junk food, snacks, things that come out of a box, have a wrapper. that we tend to snack on while sitting around, at our desk all day. Those are the stuff that we'll grab. Those are almost always the items that are not that are not good for our health and vitality, and are also not good for our waistline. So think of foods the way grandma and grandpa ate them, and you're usually going to be safer. There are exceptions, safer. And I think that you'll do well. And also, advanced preparation is going to be 90% of it. It really is. So I did one particular seminar where we would interview groups of people, and we'd actually put them in groups in the room during the seminar. And we would group them by diet. Like, okay, who likes low carb dieting? Who likes a Weight Watchers calorie counting strategy? Who likes to eat, high fruits and vegetables? And so we put them in 3 or 4 groups. Now I said, here's what we're gonna do. This group here isn't following any diet. They only have one rule. And then I pull out the ice chest. The little ice chest. Well, it was one of the soft ones, tote-like. It's easy to say. Now, this group here, they only have one rule. They can follow any diet they want, but they can only eat what's in this bag, and they have to have it packed the night before. Guess which group is going to lose the most weight?
That one.
I promise you so. 100% of the time. So 90% of your outcomes is going to come down to factors. In fact, when we would evaluate ones, even of successful groups, the ones that are most successful and most consistent, predictors, those that were preparing at least some of their daily food in advance without even knowing what the foods were, turned out that was highly predictive of sustained weight loss, weight maintenance of lost weight, or success on a weight loss plan. Similarly, those even who had good overall eating habits, but did not display characteristics of consistency. In other words, I eat healthy, but I eat randomly. It wasn't correlated to rapid weight gain in the near future, but that's strongly correlated to long-term weight gain. Those who were more consistent, that's correlated to long-term, what's called homeostasis, long-term weight homeostasis. A lot of people think the natural arc, because we always think, well, I'm this weight, and if I follow this plan, that didn't work for me because, I only maintained my weight. And that may be the case. Of course, we want something that's making progress for us, but we sometimes fail to remember they have done studies that have compared control groups against groups in participating in certain activities. I'll give you a classic example. They had a particular exercise group. I won't get into the specifics of what exercise or that's not important for the point here. But they wanted to see how it would affect specifically women participating in this particular form of exercise compared to the control group. And this was a study with hundreds of people, hundreds of women. And what they found was after 18 months, the group that had participated in this activity stayed almost exactly the same weight. And they counted it as a success. And everyone goes, what? How is that a success? They didn't lose anything. Because here's the fine print. The control group gained 5 pounds.
What?
Well, it doesn't sound like they have very much control to me. They misrepresented themselves.
They didn't have any control. That's because the natural human arc is going to be, if you look at society, and almost all societies follow this arc, is gradual weight gain is the standard. Gradual weight gain is the standard up to approximately, this is debatable, about age 58 to 60. Then the standard is declining body weight.
So I only got a few more years and I can stop.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
We completely went off on tangents on this one, didn't we? Just totally sideways, Crystal, you got to reel me in.
Oh, sorry. I was fascinated by what you were saying.
Yeah.
Portion control.
So portion control. Action items. So for Julie, what I would really encourage you to do is pick some low-calorie, healthy snacks, put them in a big bag, bring them with you to work instead, and work on portion control. Make it the scenario where you have to get, I call it the car keys scenario. You know, you can have any cheat meal you want as long as you have to grab the car keys, put on your coat, get in your car, drive down to the 7-Eleven and get it.
Mm-hmm.
If you only have to walk across the living room and open your fridge to get it, you can't have it. That's the problem. See? So we have to keep it out of the house. Apply the same principle to work. Don't keep it at your desk. Don't keep it right next to you. Put it in the break room. Put it in the fridge. Make it so that way it's an event that you have to walk and get.
And maybe a coworker will steal it.
Yeah, you can always have that.
Yeah.
One can only hope. One can only hope, of course. And then have a few snacks packed in advance, and I promise you're going to see improvement in that area. You're going to do well.
That is great because I never could keep anything at my desk. If it doesn't
Same.
matter what it was, I would eat all of it. I could
Same.
not keep anything there.
Yeah, I remember going to lunch real quick. I don't normally leave to buy my lunch even before all this, before I started doing MetPro and stuff. But I did one day, and it was like big giant bag of pretzels, family size, was like $1.80. This is how long ago it was. And then like the little bag of pretzels, like for singles, it was like $1.60, and I was like, well, that's dumb. I'll get the big bag, and I can have it for like over the next week. No. I ate them all that day.
Yep.
And I was like, never again. Never again.
Okay, one last quick tangent because it just triggered me. Tom triggered me
all
again.
Tom's
I have
fault.
that effect on people.
So, that is in the corner of the world that we live. That is the scenario in the culture here. We get offered these value choices. That's a disaster. You can pay $35 and have this healthy chicken salad, or you can have this gigantic cheeseburger that's ready to go right now for a nickel. That's the scenario.
It is.
Okay, maybe that's a little exaggeration, but essentially that's what happens. I just had this conversation regarding Super Bowl eating. Recently, Super Bowl eating. Why snacking can hurt you so much more than simply meals. Why snacking. And keep this fundamentally when we're talking workplace and snacks throughout the day. If I say eat whatever you want, but limit it to a specific meal, you can only fit so much into your tummy in one sitting. I know.
Challenge accepted.
He keeps challenging us.
Challenge accepted. I knew he was going to say that. But over the course of a marathon, football watching session with bags of chips in front of you, over the course of 3.5 hours, you can polish off a lot of snacks. And trust me, if you look at the back of a bag of pretzels or chips or Ruffles and you do the math, you would be shocked.
That's why you don't do the math. Don't do the math.
Well, I love junk food, but not enough to watch football.
There it is.
Well, if people would like fitness, nutrition, and tangents tailor-made for them, where can they...
Tailor-made tangents.
Tailor-made tangents. I'm opening up new business avenues for you. Where can they find you?
Metpro.co/TCO.
Oh, thank you, Angelo.
Thanks, guys.
Peloton celebrity sightings.
This isn't exactly breaking news at this point, but for people keeping track or want to collect them all and trade with your friends, femalefirst.co.uk has an article about Ashton Kutcher getting marathon ready.
Yeah, I know we really already covered this. Really, the only reason I included it was just because it's being covered in the UK as well.
Yeah.
That's really the only reason. It's getting Peloton a lot of press,
For
and
sure.
that is the whole goal.
They
so
could
that
use it.
you could get Peloton press and raise money for Ashton's
Charity.
thank you called Thorn. All I could think of was Ashton's Thorn, and I felt like there needed to be words in between for that to make sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's all.
Peloton artist collaborations.
So Kim Kardashian and Ashton Kutcher took part in a Robin Arzon tread class.
They did.
And
they did.
People were very upset about this.
So upset.
They felt a way.
You know, what's interesting is so many people just like, first of all, when Peloton came out with their video, was no one watching the video? She was right there. It was in the video the very first day they announced this. I don't understand why this is so shocking to everyone. Guess what, everybody? Natalie Portman and several other stars will also be showing up. They're going to have a new star every week. That's the idea.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's shocking to people. But for Kim specifically, when people started posting that she was going to be in this class, people got very upset. People never are rude to Robin on Instagram. People were rude to Robin on Instagram. Like, they were like, Peloton has lost their way. Oh no, how is this happening?
Oh no, the person with the 7th most followers on Instagram is talking about the product. What are they thinking?
Yeah, it's I don't really get why it's so upsetting to people. So what I was saying earlier in the show is, like, I don't understand what people hate about her so much. Like, first of all, anybody that gets that popular, you cannot become the 7th most popular Instagram star without pissing people off. You have to be polarizing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's my brand. I'm not saying I like who she is, but I don't know her, so I also don't have anything against her. She's just a person.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never watched an episode of the Kardashians.
Me either.
And they probably would count that as a win.
But we're not their demo.
I'm not their demo. You are more than I am.
Guess. I don't feel like they just seems it's so like they're very like stylized. Like I'm not a fan of the makeup, the type of makeup she wears. I'm not a fan of, like, it's kind of launched this whole like style that other people emulate, and they want their makeup to look like that. And I just don't feel like it's very genuine. I don't feel like people look like themselves in that type of makeup. So it's just not my thing.
It's a generational thing.
I think so.
There's been a shift in the same way that in the 60s, like, these girls in their short skirts and boys in their long hair. It's, so I'm just like, it's not my thing. It's not supposed to be my thing. And that's fine. All I know is that she has 278 million Instagram followers in a country of 400 million people. So, like, that's not nothing. And so when people are like, well, but would they buy a Peloton? If you put 278 million people in a room, I promise you some of those people would buy a Peloton.
Yeah.
Like, that's, so yes. That's that when you have a pool of people that large, then there's definitely people that you can be selling to out of there. And so
I guess people have an issue with the type of I don't know what, like, her persona, like the way she has presented herself. And supposedly they feel like, I saw a very well I don't want to out this person because it wasn't in our group, so I don't have their permission, but but they spoke about, like, they were very close-minded. They had posted something and they got kind of ripped up about their thoughts, and so they then were like, you know what, I'm gonna go to this class. I'm going to watch this class and have an open mind about it. And they ended up coming away from the class still feeling the exact same way. Like, they did nothing change, but they felt like that Kim Kardashian is using the opportunity to change her persona to people, like that she's trying to look a separate way, a different way to people. And that the person who posted this just doesn't feel like they should be able to use the Peloton platform for that, that it should be about his charity. And so that should be where the focus is, not on Kim Kardashian.
Isn't Peloton about making positive changes in your life? I mean,
I think it's just that what I think it really boils down to is everybody has an opinion about what Peloton should be, because it's been so much to all of us. Yeah. And so everybody feels like if it doesn't match with what they think Peloton should be, then it's not right. Yeah. And just, back in the day when the company was really small, literally people would write John Foley and tear him a new butthole until they got what they wanted. Right. And those days are over. Yeah. There is no more of that.
I mean, one, he's the wrong guy to write now.
Yeah. Well, and Barry would just throw it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'd be like, that's nice. It's working, or it's not. And that's the only thing they care about is it working or not. We've moved past the day where like Peloton is just obvious that it's going to grow and it's going to be amazing and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Now we've moved on to Peloton needs to survive. And for me, I've had to get into a new headspace about like, okay, well, tough choices are now need to be made. It's like if you lost your job tomorrow, right? Then I wouldn't be able to have things that I now have. Like I couldn't just do that. We would have to have a discussion about what are we going to cut out of our life.
Right. And just to be clear, not because I support us, but because we're a 2-income household and one of the incomes would go away.
If I lost my job, then we would have the same conversation. Yeah. It's a two-way street. But my point is that it stops being about like, well, Tom, go buy your comic books. That's fine. Or I'm going to go get my hair done every 4 weeks and spend a lot of money on it.
Right.
Like that's fine because we have the money. We're both independent and we can do those things. We have the disposable
income. It's not a big deal. Yeah.
But if we don't, we got to start making some hard choices and the kids come first. Like that becomes our focus. And I feel like people have not wrapped their head around that is the new focus is keeping the company afloat, or they have wrapped their heads around it and they don't agree on what is going to work in keeping the company afloat.
Yeah. But I think anything that brings new eyes and a lot of new eyes to the company, it can't be a bad thing.
I agree.
I just, and people don't do this with other products like, oh, Kim Kardashian drinks Coca-Cola. How dare Coca-Cola? Like it's, who cares?
I think that's true.
Nothing about your experience.
But Coca-Cola isn't doing a 30-minute commercial with her drinking their Coca-Cola.
But they would.
They would. Yeah, she was on board. But that's
and
the thing that Peloton
Didn't they do one with her?
I have no idea.
I think they did. It went really bad too, but it was because they tried to. I think she was the one they tried to piggyback like the Black Lives Matter movement. It was just really tone deaf.
Oh,
maybe it was one of the other Kardashians because I don't watch it. They're all the same person to me. But anyway, my larger point is that these products like you don't apply this litmus test to other products. Like who cares? Like nothing about your enjoyment of your bike, tread, guide, or soon to be rower is affected by whether or not she's a part of one small aspect of their marketing.
Unless she buys them.
Then you can be upset. But as long as you still got Cody and Robin and
you still have the people you love, because that's as I will quote Barry, as Barry said, the instructors are the crown jewel of Peloton, and that's what's creating the content. That's what's driving the growth.
That's the real product. It is ultimately.
And so yeah. That's gonna. They're probably going to keep doing things like this. It's going to keep going.
And I will also say, every time you post bitching about it, all Peloton sees is engagement.
Yeah, so they don't care.
You've proved their point. Every time you bitch about it,
here's the thing:
you prove their point.
Actually, people would say you're wrong, Tom, and that's because they stopped letting you post comments on OPP about Kim Kardashian. They turned it off.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Taylor Swift. We can all like Taylor Swift, right?
I mean, I do. There's plenty of people that don't. There's plenty of people that don't like her. Yeah. Your sister's one of them.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Sister can't stand
She's
Taylor
so
Swift.
Angry about Taylor Swift. She's such a cute girl. What's the problem?
Yeah, she seems very nice.
I know. Well, anyway, the new Folklore album is coming out. Actually, the album is called Midnights, but they are doing a folklore album yoga flow with Latia Mariana. Her name's just Mariana. I don't know why I didn't just say her name. And it was her Instagram name.
Instagram handle, yeah.
And so, and then they're doing an Evermore album yoga, and it's below where it's posted, so I can't see. But there's another yoga flow coming up the next week. I believe it's on the 17th. Well, anyway, it's going to be on Friday, September 9th, and that one's with Kristen McGee. It's nice that they're continuing their partnership with Taylor.
In case you missed it.
There was a new apparel drop on Thursday.
Yeah. I don't know what it is because today's Wednesday.
But, that's right.
But it's dropping.
It's Wednesday for us, but it's Friday or later for you. Yeah. So it's already happened for you, but not for us. It's the magic of time travel.
It's just funny because it says, the rumors are true, text your bestie. And then it shows Cody dancing and says, me on Thursday. And then the bestie says, what's on Thursday? Rumor has it, new apparel. And then, oh my God. And it shows Jess Sims saying, I'm so pumped. And then somebody said, set that calendar reminder, consider it booked. So I thought that was a cute little exchange. Yeah. But I don't know if it's because it's fall. Is this going to be a fall drop? Is this going to be another capsule? I feel like it's a little early for fall, but it could be fall 1.
I mean, I guess if people want it in time for fall, they would start doing it now.
Yeah. I guess it's just, I don't know. They're confusing me with their drops. I don't understand the drops anymore. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just all over the place.
Very
it's chaos.
different these days. Also, we should point out that you were on a podcast. If people, and I'm sure they do, would like to hear you without me, I know they're out there.
I really enjoyed this interview. It was it's a podcast called Go Hard Chick, and we talked about like how I left corporate America slowly over time.
Right.
Like, it's been like this like very slow shift.
I think they call that quiet quitting now.
Yeah, they do.
It's got a name.
I'm part of the movement.
Yes.
But it was a fun conversation, and the person who was interviewing me had no idea like any deep details about Peloton. So like I got to get really nerdy when they would ask a question. So it was
because it was all new to them.
Yes, exactly. So I very much enjoyed it.
Peloton birthdays.
We have 1.5 birthdays this week. One because we missed one.
Yeah.
It wasn't on our radar. But and that birthday is on September 7th. And it's Mila Lazar.
I think it's Mila Lazar. Mila Lazar.
Lazar. So I
don't know that I'm saying it correctly either. It's German. She is a German instructor. So
okay.
I don't know the correct, like where to put the emphasis.
Right.
Emphasis.
I was trying to, on the right syllable.
Yes.
I was trying to make it Hispanic.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No. Well, she might be, for all I know.
Okay.
But she teaches in German. So I think she actually might have a Hispanic background, which makes it even more confusing of how to say the name. I should probably just take a freaking class with her. She would say her name, then I would know.
Yeah.
That would solve that. But I haven't.
And also on September 10th, Hannah Corbin. I know how to say that one.
You do know how to say that.
Yes.
I was going to say congrats. Happy birthday to both of you.
Yeah, I don't know if it's congrats on birthdays. Like, it's not an achievement. Like, you really don't have a choice.
It's more like a congrats to their parents.
You're either going to have one or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, every year I wake up on my birthday is one more year.
Yeah.
I'm here. I made it. Woo.
Checking in with the Peloton community.
Joining us today via the magic of ZoomTube is Steve Chan. Hey, Steve.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Or Steven, or occasionally, as we know now, Stevie. But only on an internal monologue.
Yeah.
Now everyone in the world knows.
So now I just got to know, do you use that to like ridicule yourself? Do you use that to comfort yourself when you're Stevie?
Is that like, you're kind of like motivating yourself? We need to know the Stevie parameters.
Yes.
It's definitely myself motivating my younger, smaller self. It's definitely something I adopted way early on in life when I was just a little kid. So
when you were a Stevie.
You were a Stevie.
Yeah, I was a Stevie to myself.
That's awesome. I mean, honestly, I love that you said that. I hope you're okay with us telling that. If you're not, we can take it out.
No, go for it.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
So I'm a junior, and so I grew up as a Tommy until my parents got divorced and my dad moved out, and then I graduated to my mom got custody of me and I got custody of Tom. So
up until then you were a Tommy?
Yes.
His family to this day still calls him Tommy.
They do.
Which is weird for me, because I've never once called him Tommy.
And it's never bothered me. Yeah. It's just honestly, like, I think we've established on this show how lazy I am. It's just fewer letters to write at the top of your homework. Like
3 letters. Efficient. Yeah,
it's 3 letters instead of 5. Like, how much time has that saved me over the course of my life?
Although Steve doesn't have the same issue, because Stevie is only 1 extra letter. It's really it's a simple letter to write. You just have to add the I. I mean, unless you're throwing a Y on there, that could be more complicated, I guess. But still. So now that we've had this riveting conversation, when did you first find Peloton?
So I gotta say, we found Peloton in March of 2018 was around the time. I myself and
I feel like you have been here forever. Like, you've always been part of the community. Are you sure?
Yeah, it was at that point. You gotta say, with the ride count, you'd probably think that I was around for quite some time, because I definitely started riding like a madman once I started seeing all the positive results behind the bike and everything. But yeah, March 2018. It's been quite the ride since then.
Haha, pun intended, I'm sure.
Yeah.
How many rides?
More to come, guys. Yeah.
How many rides are you up to then?
So I got to say right now, I think I'm knocking on 1,900, although the bulk of that certainly came many years ago early on, because I got to say that, I think during COVID, we actually added to our collection. So we got a Peloton tread.
Nice.
And I think if you talk to anyone in the Feel Good family, you'll certainly hear about it, because I sort of disappeared a little bit from the bike. And it's a funny story, because my wife was the one who wanted to get the treadmill, and I didn't think I would get any use out of it. But I'm actually the one who uses it much more now these days. And I got to say, it's pretty addicting. But I'm going to find my way back to the bike now that the studio's opened up and everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So do you guys live close to the studio? Like, are you able to go pretty frequently?
Yeah. So we live on Long Island, on the island. And I got to tell you guys, we probably live near somewhere at Jones Beach. For folks familiar with the area, it's like LIE, exit like 45-ish. But yeah, we live close to the city. So I think we were regular folks who hopped in on the LIRR. It's about a 50-minute train ride in. And with the new studio location, it's just close to Penn Station. So we go in regularly.
Wow, that was a lot of initials.
Yeah,
I feel like
people in the Midwest, it was just a series of clicks and hums.
Dude,
the only thing
you
we know
live
about
in New York. That's all I need to know.
The only thing I know about Long Island, I'm like, do you live next to Billy Joel? That's all I need to know.
Is his house right next to yours?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah. You and Billy Joel are good friends. Good friends. See him out there.
I'd say that.
You see each other at the HOA meetings.
I was thinking, like, when he took the trash out, like once a week you go drive the trash to the curb or whatever. You and Billy, I picture just waving at the curb. Hello. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
First name basis, just Billy.
Just Billy.
I picture him either like Tony Soprano with a cigar and a robe. Weeping over ducks.
Wow. Oh, God. I miss The Sopranos.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said Peloton made a lot of changes in your life. Were you a fitness person before you got the bike? Were you into this? Like, what changed? What were the benefits you saw?
Yeah. Fitness person before? Absolutely not. I got to say, around the year that we got it, it was shortly after my birthday. So I passed over that 30-year-old mark. And I got to say that, my metabolism was no longer that of a hummingbird, right? And at that time I had, and for folks who know me and my wife, like, we are absolutely big eaters, right? We live, right, to eat. And my metabolism was just slowing down. And at that point, certainly gained a lot of weight. And I realized that, like, I had to do something about it.
Yeah.
So for context, for folks out there, I am about 5'7" tall on a good day. And I was tipping the scales at, I think 205 pounds was myself at my top weight. So at that point, we realized we just, both my wife and I we committed to the bike at the same time, because, having that support, being able to support each other definitely helped.
And I like to sometimes just throw bombs into people's marriages. So real quick, tell us how much your wife weighed at this time.
Do not do that. Do not answer that question.
I promise we'll edit it out.
Just throw a grenade out there, man.
Speaking of getting custody of things,
he's gonna lose the bike and the tread all in one day, Tom. Stop it.
She gets the bike and the tread, you get the guide.
So you were saying your journey.
Yeah. So, I mean, at that point it was, we just had to make a change, right? And, me being a big tech guy, right? The idea of a live leaderboard, competition, metrics, tracking, all that was amazing. I got to say, what helped along the way was going through, the Facebook page and coming across like John Mills's legendary setup that everyone out there knows about.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, that big
absolutely.
video screen and like had the bike projecting onto it. Yeah, like what? I want to do that.
Yep.
Can't tell you how many people I would have to tag John Mills. It would be like, how do I cast from my screen? Tag John Mills. Tag John Mills. Tag John Mills.
Yep. And he's an angel about that. He is willing to help out anyone who has any questions about it. So, and I definitely had questions for him coming into it too. So,
yeah. So you went from not working out at all to working out all the time. You committed to the bike.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was. I went from one extreme to the other, and I got to say, my body was just in shock from basically doing nothing, commuting to the city, right, mowing the lawn. That I was able to see great results from it, and I've lost a great amount of weight because of it.
So can we ask how much weight you lost?
Yeah. So if we go end to end from the highest high to the lowest low, I was able to drop about 55 pounds. So I went to about 150 on the low. The plan at that point was to build up muscle at some point, but some other things came up, and I never really got to that point yet. But maybe at some point.
Yeah, it's not too late.
Yeah,
it's not too late.
Yeah,
it's not like you're in your 50s.
I mean, if Tom can do it at 50,
that's when
you can do it.
That's when it's all over. That's when it's all over. We're even the same height, so
yeah.
So did you have to make major changes to your diet, or because you're in your 30s, you son of a bitch, were you able to just work out and keep eating the same?
Yeah, so I mean, if we look at the numbers, I got to say, like, the first chunk came off a bit easy in a sense of I just had to hop on, ride with my favorite instructors. At some point, I had to make a change to diet, right? But usually with me, it's like the rule of thumb is to, just keep it simple. You need something that's sustainable, right? So from my perspective, it was just making easier decisions with respect to what I was eating and lining it up with, the calories that I was burning with exercising. But I still enjoy my occasional Taco Bell trip, White Castle, or you name it. I still do it all.
Enjoy that while you can.
Yeah.
Clock's ticking.
Check back in 10 years, guys.
Yes.
For real, it only gets harder. It's really not fair. But it's true. But I will say men have an easier time of it than women, and I've learned all the science behind that, and we can have that conversation another time, but it's because incredibly frustrating.
We get an extra workout every day from all the peeing, so that counts. We get in like 10,000 extra steps going to the bathroom to pee.
Well, it's better than what I thought you were going to say. So, now when did you get involved in the Feel Good fam, and how did you change over to being one of the admins? I mean, really the admin, right?
Yeah. So I got to say with the Feel Good fam, right? Us, my wife and I, both connecting with Alex as our favorite guy. We certainly, we joined the group and we started having like a larger presence, not only in studio, just meeting up with anyone who would be coming in from all parts of the world, right? But with respect to the group, just motivating others, right? We made a fair amount of friends through there. On the flip side, also getting like love and respect from Alex too on the leaderboard is nice. Everyone loves the occasional shout out that they can get from anyone, which I think that definitely helped. But I got to say, like that year, I think, was like the peak of me and my like Peloton fame, because I think it was the same year where they did the modeling shoot with the home riders.
Yes. And you were in that.
I was lucky enough to be invited for that. So I think with all of those things stacked up, at some point it was, the prior admins of the group reached out to me, Gina and Kristen. And at that point, they basically reached out and said, hey, like, do you want to take things over? Sort of a changing of the guard and change of pace type thing. So the rest is history.
It is, yeah. And then I remember one of the years for homecoming, was it the first COVID year you got to you hosted Alex's like group thing too? There was like a Q&A you hosted.
Oh yeah. The Feel Good, Look Good, Do Better talk that we did that 1 year. That was such an amazing experience, but also very, very nerve-wracking.
You seem very relaxed here. I'm sure that's because you've gotten so used to it, not because you were, so nervous about it.
Because we're not important.
Right.
You guys are making it easy. I feel like we're best friends at this point.
But you did a great job with that, in all seriousness. And I remember that was such an unusual year because, we all thought we were going to get together in person, and then everything changed. And so did that all come up like right before you actually got to do the talk, or was it like always the plan as they started planning homecoming? Because I feel like Peloton likes to surprise people, so I could see that being a very quick turnaround.
Yeah, I remember when we had to plan that, it was definitely a very quick turnaround with respect to them asking if you want to do it, right? And sort of waiting for like the itinerary, what the plan is leading up. Even in the actual session with Alex, right? He's a great guy and everything, but there was some ad-libbing between the other sides too, sort of figuring out the proper flow through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was tight deadlines, and for folks out there who don't know me, like I have a really, really big planner. Like if I'm going on vacation in November, I'm probably packed now. So it's a little nerve-wracking leading up to the event.
You must have a lot of clothes.
I do. We'll probably have a whole nother session just on that.
If you haven't, since you lost all the weight, if you have any extra T-shirts you want to send to a listener, let me know.
Yeah. So do you, can anybody join the Feel Good fam? Is it like for anybody, or is it, hopefully they would love Alex. Like that's kind of the first criteria, right? But is there anything else they need to be able to do before they join?
No, basically Feel Good family. If you want to join up, there's just a questionnaire that we ask you. Obviously, you have to have a leaderboard name. We do expect folks who join the group to be a bike app or tread user. The other rules are basically around like no self-promotion or selling of any kind, being respectful, right? It's basically a no-nonsense group. We have admins, we have moderators, but really it's just self-policing. It's a group of great folks, right, who are just around to motivate each other or to have a great time, follow their favorite Alex Toussaint class, right? And that's it. So if you love Alex and you want to join the rest of the FGF, sign up.
I have to say, like, I feel like you guys have one of the last remaining original groups that still has like a positive vibe. Like you keep it positive. And I don't mean that there's never anything that comes up that isn't, tense or whatever. But like in general, it's all very lifting each other up. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that really surprised us when we originally went on our journey, right, to get the bike. And I think a lot of people are surprised, to outsiders, it's definitely like a cult, right? If you think about it, but it's a good one.
It's a healthy cult. That's what I always say. Hey, at least we're healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
You even get matching shoes.
I know, right?
But yeah, we didn't expect the entire community that would come with it, which, if anyone out there is on the fence of getting a bike, like, go for it. FGF is here if you want some folks to support you. But we've made a great amount of friendships from folks all around the United States. So it's a good time.
Yeah. I'm guessing you're kind of like us that like, because you have you're in a popular group, you probably have friends all over the country now. So you could go anywhere and hang out with other Peloton people, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually went on a road trip. So we went to South Carolina, met up with Peloton friends who came from Texas, Virginia, New Jersey. On the way back, some folks were nice enough to welcome us into their homes and have great meals with us. And it's been a blast. Everyone is so awesome.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
So at what point did you switch over to the tread? You started running on the tread. Now, I know you said that this was your wife that instigated this. I say instigate because it sounds like there's a little saltiness.
Yeah, when did we get the treadmill? I feel like we got it a year or so ago. It was definitely during COVID times, was when we got it. But I can't remember when. But I am a regular user of it. I think at some point the tread schedule just lined up better for my life in general. So
who do you run with? I feel like this could get interesting. Like, are we gonna mess? Are we gonna make the Feel Good fam mad?
No, I mean it's so I think. For me, I run generally with whoever aligns with the live schedule around like 7:00. I think now is what the new times are. So generally I'll run with, Bex, Matt, Chase when he was around. Daniel McKenna is probably one of my favorites now. I'm excited to meet him. real life.
Yeah.
But really whoever lines up with my schedule at that point, because it's the best time of the day for me to get my workout in.
Interesting. So you're more tread agnostic. You're Alex on the bike, but you're tread agnostic. All right.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. If we can get Alex on the tread, I think that'd be great. So
I never know. I saw that. I did think it was interesting seeing that video that they released today, that it was like, so for Tom, and since this will be released in 2 weeks, people will be like, what video? So the video they released today was like talking about Ashton Kutcher and his 26.2 journey that he's doing. And that's going to be like a collaboration. I can't remember what it was called, but it was something like, it's motivational. And anyway, and they showed a bunch of the instructors, and it was not just tread instructors. There were several bike instructors too, including Alex. So I was like, maybe they're going to show up on the treadmill, do a little teaching over there.
That'd be a
Fingers
fun
crossed.
April Fool's Day prank, is to put tread people on bikes and bike people on treads.
Oh my God, everybody would lose their mind though.
I remember when I was in radio one year, we swapped morning shows. We were an alt rock station. We swapped morning shows with the hip hop station, and
You didn't tell anybody?
Didn't tell anybody. We just one day on the alt rock station, we had the hip hop morning show on there, and they weren't even in the same cluster of stations. They were completely unrelated, and they were just like, we were like, what do you think about this idea? And they were like, we love it.
Oh, you've never had a real job, have you?
I was a checker at a grocery store. That counts.
That does count.
Yeah.
That does count.
I did that for like 10 years.
I was just before we started recording, I was teasing Steve because he made a comment about being ready and our support and guidance. And I was like, you definitely have a corporate job. And I was like, Tom would never say anything like that. He gets to decide things like which people play at his rock arena. It's like,
who do I want to open for 38 special?
Yeah.
Marshall Tucker or Molly Hatchet?
And Steve and I, for our day jobs, are like, yes, we'll get back with you shortly. It will be in an email, and I will explain all that
we
again.
are synergizing the process of distribution points.
Yes.
I don't know. I think that's what grown-ups say.
He's like, I just read that email. People need to watch this video because you're not laughing out loud. You're laughing silently.
Yes.
They're going to think these like long, awkward silences.
People that watch it on YouTube are going to be like, they were really killing it. And people that listen to it are like, why were they such a dick to him?
I swear he's laughing, guys. I swear.
I am laughing. I am.
Shoo. So, back to the Feel Good fam. How does the group like support Alex? Like, is there interaction? Is there anything that you guys do to connect with him?
So I gotta say that the big thing that so the Feel Good fam is full of a lot of heavy hitters, I gotta say. So, I think you guys have seen the performance of anyone who is in the ride to greatness. It's certainly a highly competitive leaderboard in our group.
Yes.
But I think the idea of being able to welcome anyone, to push anyone in the group has definitely been something that we do, right? We certainly encourage anyone to be able to be willing to hop on and just to ride, welcome any new members. A lot of folks in the group, we all know each other, right? In general, only by leaderboard name. But I think the rest of the Peloton world is like that as well. But if you show up in the studio and you ask someone what their name is, you really want to know what their leaderboard name is. You don't care what their real name is.
So true.
But yeah, I think, back when things were more normal, but obviously things are opening up now. We had regular meetups in the studio. We were doing the occasional brunch with respect to whoever was just there and meeting up afterwards. Feel Good Fam Homecoming was definitely something that we had back in the day. And that's actually my first opportunity where I met everyone in the group. John Mills, Erica, the Jaegers. It was a fun time. So we're hoping to get some things back together on that front. There's just a lot to plan.
Oh yeah, for sure. And just not knowing, what Peloton's going to do. And like, it's such a weird time right now because everybody wants to go to the studio, but everybody is going to want to go back in May. And so if you don't live like in an area that's close and easy to get to the studio, it's tough because it's like, well, I don't want to use up my travel time and expenses now because I want to go back to homecoming, but then I want to get to the studio. It's like, it's tough, you know? It's a lot to juggle.
Yeah, definitely.
Plus, none of us have left our houses, so we want to go everywhere. There's that too.
Oh, we've left our house.
Oh, we have. I just meant in general.
Okay.
The rest of the world has, like, in general, we have traveled less over the last 3 years.
We had a whole episode about how they almost wouldn't let us go on our cruise. So
I just was speaking in general.
Don't people yelling at us like, you've left your house.
I meant we as the general larger we.
Then you went to Dallas like 2 weeks later.
Oh my God.
Like they're just going to yell at you trying to get out in front of it.
Don't at me.
Yeah. So what is your leaderboard name? And then we don't have to care about Steve Chan anymore.
It's Steve Chan.
Just throw that away. So if you guys want to find me on the leaderboard, it's Iceman Chan X. Has that big X on the end.
The big X. I like that. I like how you say it's the big X.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a software engineer by trade. So if you look at the leaderboard name, it is camel case with the upper and lowercase letters in there to break it up.
Nice.
But Iceman Chan X, you can find me on the leaderboard, mostly at Alex classes on the bike and then on the treadmill any day at 7 or 7:30.
What did you say that's called? What kind of case?
Camel case.
Camel case. I didn't know that had a name.
I feel like I feel a joke coming.
No, I just didn't know that because I do that a lot of times when I'm like, because it's easier to read. I didn't know that it had a name, so now I know.
He's going to start using that. He's going to file that away in his pop culture brain, and he's going to start whipping that out
in my head.
Run
now.
with it.
Yeah,
yes.
He will. He definitely will. Well, you said you have a favorite instructor. Do you ride with anybody else besides Alex? Like, is that it?
So Alex is the main one that I ride with now. I think anyone who does a pop punk ride, pop punk music is something that I'm into. I used to be really big on Power Zone. So Matt used to, I don't know if he still has it, but the Saturday morning, the long ones.
I think they come and go.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did Holly Akala one time. I don't know if I'll ever do it again, but that was long.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Though your love of pop punk reminds me, honey, the Me First and the Gimme Gimmes are coming to town.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
okay. Sorry. Back to the show.
Well, I guess I know what we're doing that day.
Stop.
So do you have any advice for people who have just gotten their Peloton, whether it be a bike or tread? It can be either.
Or a guide.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my only advice would be to just not be afraid to try it. Right. I think coming from someone who never, wanted to exercise, ride the bike or even run. Right. Like I was never a runner. Just don't be afraid to try if you have certain goals in life. Right. As far as like levels of physical fitness, definitely hop on, give it a shot. Actually for myself growing up, I didn't really learn how to ride a real bicycle until like a late point in life. But I think the first time that I had to go out of the saddle on the bike, it was a terrible, terrible sight. But I'm able to do it now. So don't be afraid to try, and definitely the community there is there to push you.
Yeah. You said you're competitive with the bike. Are you competitive on the treadmill too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that live leaderboard is what's there that pushes me, and also obviously trying to beat your PRs. It's something I think everyone always goes for. Yeah.
Well, so just curious, which one drives you harder, the tread or the bike?
Interesting. Yeah, I gotta say at this point, I feel like the tread is a much harder workout. The leaderboard is usually much smaller in that class too, so it is probably slightly easier to be in a higher.
That's what I was thinking. I had a feeling. I was like, competition-wise, I feel like the treadmill would be more up your alley. Okay, all right. I was just guessing. That was just fun for me.
And any advice for people beta testing the rower? No. Let's get them all in there.
Let's get them all in. Yeah.
So
keep rowing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Are you getting a rower? Are you going to get one? That's a yes.
Maybe. We'll have to see. I mean, we were actually on the fence of getting a tonal at some point, but somewhat secretly hoping out that Peloton might have an equivalent type thing.
Lots of people are. Yeah.
So gonna hold on as long as we can, but I could definitely see a rower in our future.
And based on everything I've heard, I don't think that that's going to happen anymore. What they had planned for Peloton is no longer happening. But things change, so.
I was going to ask you if you have room for a rower, but since you live next door to Billy Joel, I'm assuming
plenty of space.
Plenty of space. Worst case scenario, you put it in the servants. You put it in the servants' quarters. Just a little bonus for the working class. You're a giver. You're a giver. That's what it comes down to. So.
Oh my God.
Well, Steve, thank you so much for joining us today. Before we let you go, remind everybody where they can find you and all the stuff.
Yeah, so if you guys want to find me on Facebook, I'm Steve Chan. Join the Feel Good Family group. You'll see me in there, usually posting really nice things or trash talking other people in really nice way because we're all family. On Instagram, Iceman Chan X is where you'd be able to give me a follow.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
So I guess that wraps up this episode. Until next week, where can people find you?
People can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Crystal D. O'Keefe. They can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and the Peloton leaderboard at ClipOutCrystal.
And you can find me on Twitter at Roger Kubert or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. You can find the show online, facebook.com/TheClipOut. While you're there, like the page, join the group, and don't forget our mailing list at theclipout.com. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, keep peddling
and running.